Well, it is Halloween week, and it's something that we've been doing for a couple years now. Spooky, scary situations for the Rays. We're going to get into the holiday spirit.
Yeah, so take out your candy, your leftover candy, and let's have some fun starting right now.
You are Locked On Rays, your daily Tampa Bay Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network, your team every day.
Hello, my name is Kevin Weiss.
I'm Ulises Sambrano.
And we are the host of the Locked On Rays podcast, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Thank you for making us your very first listen every day. Be sure to check out and subscribe to our YouTube channel at Locked On Rays and follow us on all the podcasting platforms that are out there. Email us anytime, lockedonrays@gmail.com as well. All right, so we put it out there. We'll get some listener comment and take on this, but first we'll give our opinions on this question, this situation. In celebration of Halloween week, the Halloween holiday that just passed, what would you consider to be the most quote-unquote spooky or scary situation for the Rays this offseason and or in 2024? Ulises, how do you handle this?
There were a couple that were swimming in my head when we came up with this tradition for this year. And the first one was obviously number one, the Wander situation. That of course, I think is the spookiest of them all. In
that situation would be him not playing again in a Rays uniform and the allegations having some teeth to them. Yes.
Yeah. That's the spookiest. But if I wanted to get away from that one, and then I thought about the stadium situation. What if that all comes crumbling down? But you got to put good energy in the ether. Yeah. So I'm not going that way, but I have to choose something. And then I keep seeing Top Gun articles and people on the interwebs saying, oh, you got to trade Glasnow, you got to trade Randy Arozarena, perhaps a Yandy Diaz to sell high after the batting title and a tremendous overall season that he had. And I came up with the R word, retool. That would be spooky to me. If the Rays front office sits down and says, you know what, our starting rotation is not going to be as solid as we would like it to be. We've got a guy like Taj Bradley and Shane Baz who are going to be prominent. One coming from TJ and one being in his sophomore season. What can we really expect from them? Zach Eflin coming from a career year. Is he that guy, or is he the guy that you've seen the last 6-7 years before this one? You've got a guy like Zach Littell. Who is he? Can anybody actually put green Skittles, all their green Skittles, saying, yeah, of course he's the guy that we saw that can give you 6-7 inning shutout? He
could be a guy that just had the best 100 innings of his career and will never replicate that event again.
I mean, we've seen enough baseball to know that that's a 100% probable thing. Maybe not a 100%, but that's a probability. That's in the books. So if they sit down the front office and say, hey, look, our starting rotation is not going to be the same. Our position players, they had a tremendous offensive year, but we do not see Jose Siri being a 25 homer guy. We cannot bet on Isaac Paredes being a 30 homer threat. We got to get rid of Manny Margot. We got to get rid of Harold Ramirez. And maybe we do see a trade with Randy Arozarena. That would scare the heck out of me, because that would mean a retool is coming. And I know the Rays can do more with less than anybody in the game. Don't let anybody tell you any different. They can do that. But seeing the success that they've had since 2018, I know 2018 they didn't get to the playoffs, but they were a 90-win team with a college team, basically. It would scare me to go back to retooling, which was that year, by the way. The retool year was 2018, and they got 90 wins. Could they do that again? Sure. But again, you're talking about probabilities. And if you like baseball, you know about probabilities. And the probabilities are that when you're retooling, you're not really expecting to be a 90-win team. That's just when things came out very, very good for you.
Yeah. And we should be using probably a different verb than retool, or retool would be a scary situation. We should be talking about a 99-win team and bolstering, supplementing, adding, making stronger, fortifying. I don't know, something like that. Now, out of some of those ideas and possibilities that you mentioned, what would be the scariest for you? Would it be trading Glasnow? Would it be trading Randy? Would it be trading Yandy? Out of those three, what would freak you out? Like whatever is the scariest horror movie out there?
Gosh, this is a scary movie. I would not be fun person to be around in the movie.
Would not be
theater.
fun, Ulises. That's for sure.
No. I think the one that, look, Glasnow leaves. Who's your ace? And before people say Zach Eflin, I get it. He had a great year. It was a career year too, by the way. It was his best year out of like 7 in the major leagues. So are you really expecting him to be that guy? That's who he is now? Okay, fine. But it just seems like when you brought him in, he was supposed to be a 3 or 4, not a 1, not a for sure 1. So that makes me kind of hesitant about saying, yeah, trade Glasnow. When you're talking about Randy Arozarena, it's a guy who's been back-to-back 2020 seasons, man. Like that doesn't grow on trees.
Yeah.
And I can tell you that because he's like, what, one of the 3 players that have done that in Rays history?
Yeah, it's definitely what he's done. That's a rarity, but even beyond that, what he means to the organization from a marketing and branding and franchise player perspective. Take Wander out of the equation. Who do you synonymize with the Rays right now? It's Randy Arozarena. Who do other, not just Rays fans, but across baseball, who do they think when they think of Randy? They think, oh, okay, yeah, he's the one guy I know that plays for the Rays. Now, I don't think everybody knows of Tyler Glasnow, but everybody knows Randy. You
need one guy on a billboard. Who are you putting on the billboard? You're putting Randy. So now you had a whole situation with Randy Land throughout the season. You're just going to give that away? That's money. That's money. That's fans who, by the way, Randy Arozarena is the most beloved Rays player since Evan Longoria. I know you can tell me Brett Phillips. I know you can tell me Ji-Man Choi, but those players did not put the productiveness that Randy Arozarena and Evan Longoria did. So they were just like, it was a one-sided fan favoritism, if I can put that out there.
It was almost like cutesy that Ji-Man Choi and Brett Phillips were fan favorites. Okay, right. Average, below average players. They had their moments for sure, but they weren't all-stars.
No. So Randy Arozarena really is the first fan favorite with production on the field since Evan Longoria. Punto. I mean, if you want to argue that, I'd be able to say, okay, where's that Randy Land for that other person that you're suggesting? Mm-hmm. So I think if the Rays are smart and not only like, oh well, can this guy really, can Randy do 2020 again? Can Randy be a productive offensive player? Are we really, should we pay him $9 million for the production that he's going to give us? I think that after those questions are answered in that room, the next question would be, how much money are we losing by not having Randy Land? How much money did we gain in 2023 by having Randy Land? Because I can tell you, I went to Randy Land, I think 3 times, and it was a fool.
Yeah, it's a vibe, and you lose some brand equity when you take Randy off of the roster. And while you could argue that maybe he's a little bit overhyped, overrated, who cares? People love Randy, and I think he's just about. There's not much more ceiling. He's at his ceiling. I don't think there's much more to be untapped, but his ceiling's still pretty darn good and well worth $9 million. 2020, you're going to play 158 games and, give me a 270 batting average and do other things as well to supplement the team. Sure. But that'd be a really, really tough pill to swallow for the fan base. And there's been a lot of tough pills to swallow over the years in terms of trades and let goes and things of that nature as well. But
it wouldn't be the first. It wouldn't be the first. Yeah,
it would be a spooky situation, that's for sure.
Yeah.
All right, I'll give you my take on this, and then we'll get to some listener comments. But first, we have to tell you this: score early this NFL season with FanDuel, America's #1 sportsbook. Right now, new customers get 150 buckaroos in bonus bets with any winning $5 money line bet. That's 150 bucks if your team wins. If you've been thinking about joining FanDuel, there's no better time to get in on the action than right this very moment. The app is so easy to use as well. And there's a wide range of awesome betting options, including spreads, player props, over-unders, and more. So here's what you need to do. It's very simple, okay? Visit FanDuel.com/lockedon, FanDuel.com/LOCKEDON to kick off the NFL season. FanDuel, they are the official partner of the NFL. All right. So Ulises, you unveiled your scary, spooky situation with the Rays. I'll give you my thoughts here. As unfortunate as it is, I've almost become resigned to the fact that Tyler Glasnow will be traded. I've almost resigned to the fact that Wander Franco won't be returning in a Rays uniform. So I'll take those two items off the table. And here's a couple. I mean, we could create a podium. I'm just going to list them out. Things that could really freak me out and throw me for a loop here. One, Brandon Lau not being able to stay healthy, not being able to stay on the field and be productive. We look at it. He played 100 games this past season, 65 games the year before. Without him, there's a void, of course. That's one thing. The other thing, too, and we've mentioned this, especially going into the playoffs, especially if you're without Wander and you're without Brandon Lau and maybe some others as well, you need a glue guy. You need an Eric Hinsky. You need a Cliff Floyd. You need an Evan Longoria. I think that is something that the Rays have to address this offseason, be it in free agency or via trade. And we can throw out name after name after name, but something along the lines of Brandon Belt, Justin Turner, JD Martinez. Those are just a couple to marinate on a little bit. Another thing is adding some pitching help, some veteran pitching help. Go out and do what you've done in years prior. Get your Michael Wacha 2.0. And maybe not a great example, but get your Colin McHugh 2.0. Get your Brooks
Corey
Braley,
Kluber.
Your Corey Kluber 2.0. There's definitely going to be guys out on the market. There's, Jack Flaherty. If you really want to get crazy, there's some big names out there as well. But
yeah,
that is what would unnerve me a little bit, is if you don't get some sort of glue guy offensively, position player type. And you can be a DH and still be a glue guy. I'm fine with that. And then going out and getting a veteran arm or two. A reliever, 1 inning reliever, high leverage reliever, long relief guy, starting pitcher, multiple somethings.
Yeah, no, I think not getting a healthy Brandon Lau would be a scary thing.
Yeah.
Not getting a veteran guy in either the position player or the pitching pool would be a scary thing. I feel like if you want to do a podium, I think what would scare me the most in your world where you're playing with Glasnow not being part of the race, then it would be the scariest thing would be not having a veteran pitcher in that rotation. Yeah. We heard Evan Klosky tell us that you could, in his opinion, just his opinion, that perhaps Zach Eflin felt a little bit of pressure of being the guy and might have been a little bit surprised to find out that he had to be the guy the leader in that clubhouse when that clubhouse had been to the playoffs for 4 straight years. And here's a new guy, and then boom, hey, here you're the guy now. Here's your
The minute you sign that contract, all right, can you be our leader? Can you round the troops?
Hey man, can you be the guy real quick?
You're the captain now.
Yeah,
that's basically what I mean. I know we're joking, but I think that's kind of how the situation was. The Rays, again, they don't hand out $40 million contracts on trees.
No, and of course that gives you a pedigree, right? If the team that's giving you their biggest ever free agent contract, that already means something in the clubhouse, right? But it does speak kind of, if I say poorly, is it too much of a negative word to use? It speaks poorly that
maybe it's just kind of alarming.
Okay, thank you. That's a better word. Scratch poorly, people. It's alarming that the guy was just the free agent they got. Like, there wasn't really any competition at all.
Yeah.
Like, to be the guy. And then Jake Diekman comes around, a veteran, which you like. And then he's
the guy now.
So it's kind of like
Johnny come latelys that are having to be the leaders of this group.
You know, and you said it, Kev.
The Kevin Kiermaier effect.
Boom! Indiana bump, baby. Indiana bump. We don't talk about the Indiana bump enough. Kevin Kiermaier. Boom, he's gone. And you feel that void. There is no rah-rah guy. It doesn't matter if he couldn't stay healthy on the field. He was in the clubhouse. He was with the boys. And he's a position player, which is different than being a pitcher, towing the rubber every 5 days.
It is true.
It is. And this is not me saying it, who's never played MLB level ball. This is like MLB position players who are retired saying that stuff.
Right.
That it's not the same being a pitcher leader in the clubhouse than being a position player.
Yeah. Kicker on a football team, really hard for them to be the leader.
Thank you.
Got to be a quarterback, got to be a middle linebacker, something of that ilk. And I'll throw this out there, something that might, and I know we're going to have more fun with trade scenarios and free agents and things of that ilk, but maybe what could stomach Tyler Glasnow not being in a Rays uniform if they do a little switcheroo, swap the salary game, and bring in some reinforcement and some artillery alongside Zach Eflin and company. Aaron Nola is going to be out on the market. I can wake up every season and guarantee you 30-plus starts in 190 to 200 innings, year in, year out, year in, year out, year in, year out. Just throwing it out there.
I'm interested.
Yeah.
I'm interested, especially because I know that he's playoff proven. And that's a tremendous thing to be. That's, I mean, see that then.
Hey, we're kind of tired of seeing guys go down left and right with arm, elbow, shoulder, wrist injuries, whatever it may be. And who knows? Maybe, there's always going to be a time that comes for any pro athlete, but man, you've proven for many, many years that your body can withstand throwing a baseball at the highest level.
Yeah. I mean, Nola, I think it's pie in the sky, but I love it.
Yeah, for sure.
But yeah, it's really nice. But yeah, you have to find that guy. Maybe it's not Nola, but it's your veteran guy who's been there, done that. I just feel like, man, it would be a spooky thing to have. This is not against Zach Eflin. Again, if he's your opening day starter, if you were told that, Kevin, and everybody here watching on YouTube and hitting that like button, come on, guys. It's super simple. It's right there. You can do it. And I think that, Luke Raley wants you to hit that like button. I think Luke Raley
does indeed.
Wants you to hit that like button right now. Just do it. Boom, 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 real quick. I think it would be kind of not even head scratching. The next thing after head scratching, if on opening day 2023, I would have told you, hey, Kevin, next year, Zach Eflin is going to be the opening day starter. you would have a lot of questions. Everybody here would have a lot of questions of like, what the F happened if Zach Eflin is our opening day starter?
What went wrong? Who got injured? Who got traded? Yeah. No, it would be quite the scenario for sure. Getting to, and no disrespect to Zach Eflin, it's just not what we expected. Yeah. Now, if he's able to keep up with the production that he put forth this past season, then, you know, he's kind of a fringe. He's not an ace as you would, you know, utilize that term of, you know, there's 10 guys in each league that you'd give that demarcation to, but you could, you know, stomach it a little bit more of, okay, yeah, this guy who put up these numbers, and
he's a top of the rotation guy if he keeps doing what he did in 2023, without a question. In my book, not an ace.
Right. Yeah, he doesn't give off ace vibes. You're right on that point. Okay, moving along here. Listener comments on the spooky, scary situation. Caleb says trading Glasnow. Brasso Bro says losing Franco and being on the hook for his contract. I really hope that big if, he is found guilty, the Rays are able to get out of that contract. There's got to be some sort of clause in there, I would think, when you're dealing with that type of money.
I would think so.
Lawyers get paid enough to write those things. So
yeah,
there's got to be some sort of out.
The lawyer was taking like a day off. He was like, oh yeah, do whatever the clause. Yeah.
Just glanced over it. Didn't look at it closely. I've been guilty of that. JP says not making any moves and expecting better results. So kind of what we're both saying here. Just standing pat, retooling, or not signing anybody whatsoever. Michael Ray says, like last season, yeah, it would be disappointing to win 99 games and then a quick exit in the wild card round and having a total offensive ineptitude and some misplays in the field and some bad pitching performances as well. AJ says St. Pete, quote unquote, agreement falling through. Yeah, that would really suck. And I got to say, I don't think that the agreement is going to fall through, but you certainly have some political angles and people that at the very least want their name in the paper and want their voice heard. They're shaking it up a little bit. They really want to, make the Rays and the mayor sweat to get that $600+ million. So it's not. I don't think it's going to be as easy as wham bam, thank you, ma'am. It's a done deal. Like there's going to be a lot of conversations, and it's tough questions are going to have to be asked. And it's not like, okay, we see a first draft of the agreement, we're ready to sign it. It's going to take some time to really solidify.
Did you see that they wanted to include at least one day where the uniform says St. Petersburg Rays?
I actually like that. I'm cool with switching.
I'm okay with it. But those are like this type of, lack of a better word, shenanigans,
right?
That you're going to be seeing from this whole political act.
Yeah, there's going to be a lot of that for sure.
Yeah.
Josh says, I fully, I'm reading a reply here. Oh, a reply to the St. Pete agreement falling through. Josh says, I fully expect this to take place. Nothing over the years makes me think this deal gets done. Yeah, we've been hoodwinked before and think that things are going to happen and they don't happen. So I get what you're saying. Sam Bayless says, keeping Glasnow. Then he gets injured start of the season. Yeah, that would not be fun whatsoever. Race Fan Geo says trading Margot and Glasnow. Trading Margot would really throw him for a loop. Okay, that's maybe the first I'm hearing of that.
I'm interested. Why would trading Margot be spooky? I want to, because maybe there wouldn't be
maybe no return for that. I don't know.
That's an odd one, because I think I thought that as a fandom we had all been like, yeah, please trade Margot and his $10 million, and I don't care what we get back.
Yeah, I don't know if he's looking at it from, Margot is kind of veteran, battle-tested guy, and he seems to kind of rally some of the Latin American players and provide lend a helping hand and be sort of a good figure for them going forward. Yeah, I don't know. I'd have to ask Rays fan Gio further on that one, or maybe he's just a huge fan of Manny Margot. Manny Margot's had some really good moments in a Rays uniform for sure.
Yeah.
John said, I guess Rays fan Gio was not watching the playoffs. At least he wasn't watching Margot's defense.
His last at bat or his defense, yeah.
Yeah. John says we trade everyone and start tanking. We also bring back the weird blue and yellow throwbacks for everyday uniforms. Mayfield and Point Truther says getting fleeced on the Glasnow trade. So he's already fully expecting Glasnow to be traded, just doesn't want to be fleeced for it. Zach Dabb says trading Tyler Glasnow. And Ajax says Franco doesn't return and more pitching injuries. Yeah, that would be really freaky. So
I think all of us as a fandom have said a lot of spooky stuff. So now we can breathe and say, hey, that was crazy talk. We woke up. It was just a nightmare. None of those things have happened. None of those things are true as of today. And just hope for better things. Just hope for good things. I'm on the camp again, and we're going to have a lot of time to discuss. Should you not trade Glasnow? Should you not trade Randy Arozarena? I think those are our big should we trade or not? And then, of course, what's life with Wander Franco and what's life without Wander Franco? We've got a lot of time in the offseason to dive into those two subjects. And, of course, we got player reviews coming up, Kevin, so that should be fun for people.
We have a lot of fun coming up, maybe a guest here and there as well. Real quickly, though, before we wrap up, Halloween theme and all, hit it up in the YouTube comments. Go to favorite candy.
Nice.
What is yours?
Oh, okay.
Candy, chocolate, whatever it may be.
Reese's, whatever. I mean, if it's Reese's cup, cool. But they now they have like a Reese's like long chocolate. Maybe it was like a little pumpkin thing, and like, oh my goodness, that thing is. It's stupid.
So it wasn't a traditionally shaped Reese's. It was like a contoured pumpkin or something.
Yeah, well, yeah, exactly. Yeah, and but like a bit of thickness in there, and I was like, this is fantastic. Like Reese's, you could kill me with Reese's. I would be scary episode. So this is a scary movie. You could play the movie Seven. And I would be one of those people if you just had Reese's to give me.
There we go. Yeah. Reese's is a very good choice. I'm also amenable to a Kit Kat or Bunch of Crunch. Those are some of my go-tos as well. Actually, we had a trick-or-treater come by, looked in the candy bin there, and we actually had a whole bunch of Reese's. Too many to be, in fact. And he said, got any Kit Kats?
No, he did not.
He did. 100%. His parents had to say, no, you can't say that.
The audacity.
It's a little gauche.
Kit Kat. Quick 30-second story. In Japan, they've got like the most amazing candy. Like you're like this plus this. Like they do like the oddest combinations for us, but for them, it's just completely, normal. I found a Kit Kat. The best Kit Kat I've ever had, Kevin. I bleep you not.
Really?
Kit Kat flavored banana.
Okay.
Banana and chocolate in the Kit Kat form. My goodness, Kevin, I saw heaven. I saw like the entity of the creator. And I said,
and they actually, it's called Kit Kat. It's just banana Kit Kat. It's not like an offshoot.
It's Kit Kat. And it's in a yellow envelope, like a yellow wrapper. It's, oh my gosh.
That's amazing.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. Yeah. Pretty good.
Get on the banana. I'm going to have to Google that later. Banana Kit Kat. Maybe I can get them on Amazon or something. Yeah. There we go. All right. Yeah. Hit it in the comments. Hit it in the chat. What is your favorite go-to candy, chocolate, whatever it may be? Halloween sweet. we want to hear what you have to say there. All right. In the meantime, hope you all have a wonderful day. Stay safe, and we will talk to you tomorrow.